All right, Jacob and Anson, let's hear the real dirt. How bizarre was this to do? Was it difficult?
It was different to anything I've ever done before. Not that I've worked a ton, I've only been acting 3 or 4 years or something, but the overall title for this project, I would say, was Organised Chaos. And I didn't know that that was the intention until after the shoot, and Danny has spoken about it, how he's never worked so chaotically either. But I think it was completely appropriate for recreating this band for the screen. That so often you'd be on stage and you would not even be able to see the cameras that were looking at you. Or you were doing takes that were so long during the gigs that you forgot you were even acting. But it was an amazing experience as an actor. I'm not sure I'll ever have anything like it again. I'll cherish it forever. What about you?
Yeah, it was, it was my first ever job, so I had no sort of frame of reference for anything, but I loved it, you know. There were definitely moments where, pretty steep learning curve, and there were moments where I was really out of my comfort zone, but I think that's where the good stuff happens, you know, that's where you learn
But
stuff.
you know music, and then they want you to do something that really they don't know music. So what's the deal with that?
How do you mean?
Well, you have a music background, right?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're playing characters that really aren't all that musical to begin with. So how do you dumb it down?
Well, I don't think it was sort of dumbing it down. I think you, I had a basic understanding of the drums. I'm actually more of a guitarist, but so I kind of had to brush up on my drumming chops. But I think, yeah, we all, I don't know.
There was symmetry for me in Bandcamp for sure, because I was a blank canvas musically, and so I was learning as I went along, just the same as John did. And then gig by gig, they got better, and that's exactly what happened with us throughout Bandcamp. We got better every time we played, week by week, things were progressing. And I think, but it's interesting you say about dumbing it down, because I definitely remember conversations we used to have on set where we would think, okay, well, this morning before lunch, we're doing a gig for episode 5 when this band is really hot and when they're selling records, so they're really good at this point. But then after lunch, we've got to go back to episode 2, maybe their second ever gig. So none of us can be the same. We wouldn't be doing this band the justice they deserve if we played them the same throughout, because part of their genius is the fact that they progress so naturally.
There was growth.
And that they did get better naturally, yeah.
When did you say to yourself you could play Johnny? Did you look and say, I kind of look like him? Or
No.
And then the whole weight loss thing, that's bizarre.
Yeah, do you think I look like him? I'm
No.
interested. No, I don't think I
In the
look like
show
him.
I do, but not here.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good. Well, that's what I want. But I remember when I first auditioned, it was for General Pistol. They didn't assign us a specific Sex Pistol. Then I got through the email saying, now we'd like you to read John Lydon. And I had no idea who that was, because I'd only ever heard of Johnny Rotten. So I said to my dad, who is this John Lydon? He said, that's Johnny Rotten, that's the lead singer. And I was blown away, and I looked in the mirror, I thought, well, I don't look anything like him. I've been told a few times that I look a bit like Bowie, so I'd never considered that I look like Rotten. But I just, this all happened, the auditioning during the first COVID lockdown in England, and I'd spent the whole time working out basically, and then I had to become emaciated to play the part of Rotten, because that's the figure he had. So I had to lose a lot of weight, and I had to work with the movement coach and a dialect coach and a singing coach to really find this. Sometimes you play a character which isn't, you can sidestep into it quite easily because it's not so much of a leap from your natural self. But just wasn't the case for this one. It was it took a real long time to find it and to encompass that.
Having done this, how have the Pistols had an effect on both of you? Have you noticed that you're different now because you've been through this experience?
I was walking around with pigeon toes about 3 months still after the shoot. I'll never forget when Jordan came in and watched us perform for the first time. She said, you need to pigeon your toes more. And so I remembered that for all of the gigs throughout the shoot. And I would be sitting at the pub with my mates 3 or 4 months after we'd finished, and I'm still sitting with my feet like that. And I'm like, I did not sit like that before this job. It's gone away now, but there were definitely lasting effects. What about you?
Yeah, I'd already been a bit affected by them because I listened to them a lot from the age of sort of 14 to sort of 16. So they definitely had a big impact on me, but way before I had anything to do with this. But yeah, it was just lovely to kind of revisit that stage of my life and remember how much fun it was to be listening and sort of playing punk music.
Has this taught you to take more risks? Are you
Yes.
both risk takers much more now?
Yeah, I keep saying to people, it's taught me to not say no to things anymore. And that I realize that sounds like it's like I'm doing a bunch of drugs now. Like people are like, do you want to try this? Yes, that's not the case. I just mean opportunities, invitations to stuff. I'm like, punk taught me you only live once. Punk taught me about morality, about taking risks and not caring about what other people think. Listening to what you want to listen to, wearing what you want to wear, going to things because take every opportunity you can. That's what I learned from it.
Yeah, I think yeah, like I said earlier, I think when I first got into them, that was the big impact that it had on me. I was like, oh, there's all this stuff that I can do. You know, there's all these things that I thought mattered actually don't, and I can kind of think for myself a bit here. You know, make my own calls on stuff. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. It's a great film. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was lots of fun. And I was never a Sex Pistols fan, so you've made me a fan.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nice.
Well, that's what we want, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
That's the best result.
Convert some new fans.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you too.
Cheers.